Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam. My name is Manitya Sadashiva Priyananda. I'm a brahmachirini here in the Nithyananda Sangha, and I was ordained only about 6 months ago into the lifestyle of brahmacharya. That means you can say that I am quite new in this lifestyle, and I have a lot of years in front of me. And while being very excited, this being not a lifestyle that people know of, especially for women, there's a lot of questions that I have, other brahmacharinis might have, and also people who are looking to take sannyas or interested into the life. So the purpose of this video is to ask questions to swamis, swaminis in the sangha about their experiences, finding kind of how they saw Swamiji and seeking inspiration in that way, how they saw Swamiji and how they held on to Swamiji, and how that influenced their life of sannyas. So this is Ma Nithya Prabhananda Swami.
My name is Ma Nithya Prabhananda Swami. I'm also initiated, ordained by Swamiji from the Nithyananda Order Sannyasi, and I received this initiation in the year of 2013 with Swamiji's grace and blessing. This is one of the best happening in my life, sannyas initiation.
But you were initiated into sannyas in 2013, but you've known Swamiji since
2003.
2003.
Purna sannyas in 2013.
Yeah. So yeah, 2003. So that definitely means that compared to me, or compared to many the new brahmacharis or people who are looking at brahmacharya in the life, there's quite a difference between someone who is just looking at this and someone who has years of experience. So Prabha Swami, please tell me and the viewers, what are the kinds of social pressures that you felt at the time? So she's actually from Malaysia and US. So she was brought up in Malaysia, and then moved to the US. Yeah.
So I was born and brought up in Malaysia, and I lived in US for about 20 years and had a job there.
Yeah. So I grew up in the United States while having been born in India. So both of us can relate to each other on the non-resident Indian factor. But so what I wanted to know was, what are the kinds of social pressures? We know that nowadays marriage is not actually might not be something that people actually want. It's just a social pressure. There's so much marriage. There's so much false ideas of romance, dating, and marriage going on out there, that instead of it being a conscious decision, marriage becomes kind of out of nothing. You just take that decision. So can you speak to what are the social pressures and how you got over them?
So the social pressure in Malaysia, in Asia, is slightly different than in the West. I remember when I was around the age of 23 or so, my parents already giving pressure. Okay, time for you to have a boyfriend. Do you have anybody? It's time for you to get married. Even though they want me to pursue my studies, but they also think it's time for them. It's their responsibility. They need to settle that. And definitely there's a societal pressure, and family, especially my mother.
Especially for women, right?
Yes.
And they will never give that pressure for a man. They will say, oh, you can wait until you're 30, 35. It doesn't really matter. But for women, we are put into that pressure because it's in our role, almost in our gender role, just to become married, just to have that life. Right?
And at that time, the pressure is there because as though that is the only option in life. There's no other option, not even sannyas.
Right.
And being in Malaysia, Islamic country, the only option I have being born as a Hindu there, that my mother is aware, or my parents were aware, was after you grow up, finish your education, and time for them to get me married. So that is the pressure. More than society, I would say parents' pressure was there for me, especially mother's pressure.
Yeah, I know that many people can relate to having parents' pressure. They themselves, like, maybe you can speak to it. What do you think? Like, in that time, did you feel, oh, marriage is right for me, or did you feel like, or like maybe they're forcing me into something I don't want?
See, at that time, even I didn't know there's another option in life other than after education. But now, since I know there's another option and I'm experiencing the life, living of as a sannyasi, I'm telling you, it's two different worlds. Every human being, every being here, they need to know there are options in life. One is marriage, and it's sad to say whatever people understand or project about marriage is not real. They say all they show, like in a TV Bollywood movie, oh, you get married, happy, fall in love, at the end,
there's a song sequence, everyone is dancing, and then
happily you have a baby and you get married, and you have grandkids and you're happy ever after.
Right.
They don't tell all the reality of two different individual, a man, intellectual and emotional person living together, the conflict they have to go through and everything. And they don't also give us the option or tell us the lifestyle of a sannyas. There's something beautiful exists. We need to know what you choose whether you're going to stay married or you're going to take sannyas is one thing, but we need to know there's option in life. And I can tell, being a sannyasi, it is such a liberated life. Liberation from the societal expectation. Society knows, okay, she's sannyasi, her path is for living enlightenment, and this is a spiritual path she has taken. So the expectation is different. And I have to tell one more thing, it's personal experience. I feel even freedom from expectation from a woman. When you're a woman, there's such a pressure and expectation of a figure being in US,
right,
beauty, and you need to have the opposite gender as part of your life. But being a sannyas, it's all complete. Just being yourself. Just you yourself is already complete.
Right. So we'll wrap up the video just really shortly. But one last question I have is, what advice? So you can imagine you're giving advice to you when you started out in sannyas, or what you should. Maybe not advice, but also something, the context which you have now after so many years of being a Swamiji, living the life of sannyas and growing so much. What would you have to tell, someone like me who's just taken it, or someone who is completely new?
All I have to say is, better to try than not, and have trust in yourself. Okay, sannyas is a very pure and the highest potential that you can discover. If you want to discover the highest potential of yourself, sannyas is the path. Yeah. So definitely give yourself a chance.
Yes, definitely. If you're watching this video and you want to know more about sannyas, more about Swamiji, and you're very curious to know what a brahmachari and a sannyas are doing, what kinds of colors these are, and who, of course, is Paramahamsa Nithyananda, our guru, please see the links down in the description below that I'll provide for all of you so that you can be more informed about what we're talking about. And perhaps you yourself can know what sannyas is and make that an option for you in a very choiceless world that we have in this day and age. So thank you very much. We'll conclude with what we call the Purna Mantra. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nithyananda, thank you very much.